Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fan Dummies. I'm Greg.
And I'm Erin.
And in this video, we are going to count down the top 5 ways the Invincible show is better than the comics. If you want even more Invincible content, you can check out our full-length podcast in the description below. Let's get started. Number 5. Mark's mom, Debbie, is much more interesting in the show. Debbie has a much more active role. She actually suspects something is going on with Nolan, and she starts to kind of get her life together. You know, she gets back into real estate and she does some other stuff. And then when the Guardians get killed, she suspects Nolan and starts investigating and figures it out even before anyone else.
Wow.
Which none of that happens in the comics. In the comics, she learns about it on TV with the whole world. So she hears about him killing the Guardians. She hears about him not caring about her, about Earth, about nothing. It's bad news. So I really prefer the show version of Debbie, and I like her interaction with Nolan. I think it's key to his humanity.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Even though he's a Viltrumite.
Number 4. Omni Man doesn't seem as indestructible.
That's true. In the comics, I don't even know if he got a bloody nose. Like he was tough in the comics.
Yeah, after Omni Man killed off the Guardians of the Globe, and he ends up getting hurt himself and ending up in the hospital. In the comics, that doesn't happen at all. Like he just walks out of there with not a scratch.
Yeah, not a scratch. And there's a lot of speculation in our comment section on one of our other, Invincible videos that maybe Omni Man was faking it. But I don't think so. I mean, we even see the missiles from the jets in episode 8. We see those missiles hit him, and he clearly was irritated by them. It didn't hurt him.
Yeah.
But he got mad and went and destroyed the jets and popped that guy's head. I mean, I think he's tough, super tough, but I don't think he's as tough as he was in the comics. Number 3, they moved Robot's story to be earlier than it is in the comics, which Robot is a pretty integral part of the Invincible story. Not just because he's the Guardians of the Globe, but even later, some craziness happens with Robot.
Okay.
And I think what's going on is they want to hurry up that progression. So the only reason to hurry it up is to get Robot out of his tube into his body.
To his real human body.
Yeah.
His clone.
Exactly. I don't want to say too much more about that because it's mega spoilers. I don't even want to ruin it for you.
I'll ask you what it is later and you'll tell me.
If you want to know.
I get all the spoilers.
Yeah.
Number 2, Cecil throwing Earth's forces against Omni Man. Even though nothing worked, it shows that Cecil and Earth were, preparing themselves for a threat from Nolan, aka Omni Man. Because you never know what could happen.
Yeah, and I think they were also getting a glimpse that there were other planets, there were other aliens, that other stuff could happen. And if for some reason any of the superheroes decided to just not help Earth, Earth needs to be able to help itself. So I think that was interesting. You don't really get to see that in the comics. There's no battle between Cecil and Omni Man.
Okay.
So, he doesn't drop a giant monster to attack Nolan. He doesn't shoot him from the space laser. None of that happens. Basically, Cecil's watching it on TV just like everybody else when it goes down. And nothing happens. Omni Man and Mark fight. Omni Man leaves, and everybody's looking at each other like, did that just happen? Which is good, but not as good. And the number 1 way the Invincible show is better than the comics is the Invincible Omni Man fight in episode 8 is way better than the comics. Way, 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 way better. I'll just give you a couple examples. One is they definitely fight brutally in the comics, but the subway scene where Omni Man is holding Invincible's face, and these two are so tough that a subway hitting Mark in the face does nothing but rip his mask. Meanwhile, the humans he's hitting are exploding. Like, plus the whole battle where Omni-Man punches Mark through the building and he tries to save the lady and he holds on to her arm and the building still falls and he's holding on to her severed arm afterward. I mean, there's just so many ways that the show illustrates how much stronger a Viltrumite is than a human, how much more sturdy their bodies are and how weaker humans are, how they just squish and pop, and it just was so much better. It wasn't just that though. It was the whole ending where Nolan starts to remember Mark as a little kid and remember his time with Debbie, and when Mark says those words, you know, I'll have you, Dad, which we talked about earlier, it makes Nolan, Omni-Man, I think, reconsider his position and in the moment decide that he doesn't want to kill Mark, which that happens also in the comic, but it just isn't illustrated in a way that just tears your heart out like it was in the show. Like, they got a redo, and they did redo it better, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So you should reread that little section in the comics and see if you agree. But
yeah, I plan on it.
It's awesome in both. There's no doubt about it. It's awesome in both, but in the show, they definitely did it better. Now, one thing I want to point out is I'm not saying that the show is better than the comics as a whole. There are some things in the show that I like. There are some things in the comics that I like. We could probably have done a video that said the top 5 ways the comics are better than the show, right? It's just, I think some of these in the show were vastly superior than what happened in the comics. Thank you so much for watching, Fandummies. If there's a part of the show you think is vastly better than what they did in the comics, let us know in the comments below. If you disagree with any of my 5 or Erin's or whatever, just, you know, keep it to yourself. I'm kidding. Right in the comments below. We're happy to discuss it. If you're new around here, we talk about science fiction and fantasy, TV and movies every single week. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and hit the bell so you don't miss anything. We are at Fandummies on all social media, so follow us there, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
If you liked this top 5 video, you should check out our other top 5 video, plus our other Invincible content, which is, you know, in this around here. It's good. I mean, it's real. It's real good. Bye-bye.